Good morning, everybody. Morning monster. Here we go. Got my orange monster today, and it's that same bad time, same bad channel, and let's get her at her, shall we? Welcome, everybody. If you want to chat with me, like all the fine people on the stream, looks like Logan, Author, Dex, Infinity, Mark, Alan, Sergio, morning, Larry, TT, David, Craig, John, Jason, Maurizio, Don, Francois, Brian. All you gotta do, say hey, click the button right over here, be a subscriber. All you gotta do to say hey on the live stream. Now, if you're tuning in later when I'm no longer live, you're gonna have to leave a comment down below. And yeah, I'll get back to you if I can. Anyway, General Rush, good to see you this morning. Should I call you General Demo? General Demo? Anyway, glad to have everybody. So, starting out anyway. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance, not necessarily indicative of future results. I get stuff wrong, and I need to apologize to everybody. I'm going to stop right here. I'm sorry if I misled everybody. Starting back somewhere around July, I said Tesla was going to go to 180. I completely missed it because the low yesterday was 180.06. Never actually tagged 180. It could happen today, I guess, but I want to apologize for everybody that was looking for that 180. I missed it by 6 pennies. So I don't always get it right. So sorry about that. And this presentation is intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument. All right. Don't buy stocks. Don't buy options. Don't buy Forex. Don't buy futures. Don't buy cryptos. Don't buy bonds. Don't long them. Don't short them. And trading is risky. All right. So anyway, if you desire personal financial advice, you need to hire and consult a financial advisor. That's somebody has a fiduciary duty to give you advice. That's not what I do. I'm not giving advice. Just here, just the dude that makes some predictions like Tesla going to 180, and then I get so close and then completely blow it and miss it, you know. So sorry about that, everybody that was counting on that 180. Maybe we'll get it today. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, Kimberly's here. Good morning. Good morning. So anyway, yeah. Man, yeah, I got matching monster, matching shirt. Yeah, there we go. And glad you like it. Yeah. Somebody, why don't I have a hoodie on? Because it was 65 last night at midnight. I don't know what the temperature is right now. Let's see if it'll tell me. It was 65 out last night. It's dropped off a little bit, back down in the high 50s. But it's like 75 in my office this morning because I guess all the computers, and it was hot. It was warm overnight, and we haven't, we don't have the AC on. We just have the regular heat, so it, didn't cool off the office at all. So, yeah. So don't have to wear a hoodie today. Maybe. All right. Yeah, people trading Tesla were listening to the briefs. Gotta buy before the 180 hits. Anyway. All right. PCE hit this morning. The whole thing. Right here. Came in basically in line. No big thing, right? That's why there's no big reaction. Expecting a 0.2, got a 0.2. Personal spending up just a little bit. Everything's hunky-dory, right? I think inflation's coming back around, if you ask me. Now, somebody commented in Discord about the manipulation in the GDP number. Let's just circle back and talk about that just a minute here. They were talking about manipulation, and you know who you are. You're probably on the stream right now. All they have to do, like, I pulled it like 8. I think we're on somewhere around 6 to 8 quarters. If you're able to separate the government spending, which is very difficult to do, and I was looking at other people for analysis, not my own analysis. If you can separate the government spending from regular commercial business that you and I partake in, that's not government related, not, the government's not selling us stuff. We've actually been like in 6 to 8 quarters of negative GDP. We're actually consistently shrinking the amount of output. Now, why does it keep rising? Because the government keeps spending more money. All that infrastructure. It's all part of a plan to keep the GDP from going, like, once it went negative, you realize what they did, right? We had those 2 quarters of GDP. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, recession. And then they nipped it right in the bud by increasing government spending. That pulled the GDP back out of the hole, but it didn't really. That's why you and I and all the rest of us all feel like things aren't so great, right? It's because that GDP is actually keeps coming down. And, price of goods goes up. I mean, doesn't take a mathematizer to figure this out. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. Doesn't take a electrical engineer. So, be careful. If the party ends on the government spending, we got yeah. That's why I said I missed it by 6 cents, Pat. Missed it by 6 cents. I mean, can you believe that? I'm so sorry. Anyway, let's look at that. We got down right there, the low of the day, 180.06. It was right up there. It was, can't believe it. Can't believe I missed it that bad. I mean, yeah. Anyway, this might be the bottom. It was we got in the target right there. So I do have an alert at 180 just in case we actually hit it. But that could be it for this move. So right down to the target. Dang. Sometimes I get lucky and watch for the bounce though. This is not, zoom out a little bit. This is a knife catch right here. All right. If you're loading up right now, be careful. That's a bloody knife catch. All right. We've seen these go on further down before. This could go on down to 150. Could. Be careful. But that could be the bottom. We found support there before we made this epic pop right there. This has been a support zone. We're right back in there. It would not surprise me one bit that we take off from here. Keep ramping, 185.18. All right. Hey, good morning, Ben, Anderson, Suckbeer, Merle. Glad to have everybody. Well, welcome to the party, everybody. I'm going to refresh the list a little bit. And Bitcoin. Look at this. Look at this. Getting nice green. Yesterday, that's a 3-day. Nice, big potential top higher here. Now, where do we need to watch? Anybody in the chat? Where do we need to watch? You can let me know. Gotta watch right in here. If we can get back through that downtrend or the uptrend, the downside of the uptrend channel. Positive. If we bounce off of that, break below. Oh man, look how close the row bounce line's gotten. If we break below that, probably a bigger down. This may come right up here. Let's change the color on that to something else here. What color would be good? Let's go with green. All right. There you go. That's Bitcoin. Bitcoin popping a little bit. And as Goose pointed out, our good buddy Kramer got super bearish on Tesla. He wants to take it out of the Magnificent Seven. That sounds like a good reason for a reversal to me. Inverse Kramer. Remember, that dude gets it wrong a lot in my experience. If you pay attention to him much, You just kind of do opposite what he says. It's like he thought that ETFs were going to be super bullish on Bitcoin. Well, guess what? That didn't happen. So anyway, then when he turned super bearish, we kind of bottomed out here. We did do that little flush. You know, we did this flush on Tuesday, but right when he got bearish here, we've been hovering. We haven't really broken down since he got super bearish right here. Right there. Now, I think we might touch the roadmap line, but we'll see. It doesn't have to. That could be all the retrace it needed. We basically touched the top of this consolidation before we did that last pop, and that's all. That's kind of like the breakout. We filled that little gap, and we could take off. So we did break 40 before 50. That was kind of what I expected to happen. Yet again, something I thought would happen. S&P is not clear. Could we extend right on up into the 5,000 area? Yeah, we could. 5,062, next extension up there. And then we have almost 5,400 above that. We could even see a pop up into 6,000. Now, if we do some crazy blow off top situation, like if we go exponential on the S&P right now, if we do that kind of crap, you know what's going to happen, right? Is there anybody here that doesn't know how bad that would be? Let me know in the chat why, if you don't know why that's a problem. So, anyway. The reason is we're going to do that. And probably go lower low. Yeah, massive retrace, exactly. Massive. Do not want to see that happen. So if we start doing that, it's time to start planning. Time to start planning for a crash situation. You can make really big money really fast in a crash situation. So I just want to throw that out there. If we do something stupid like that, then yeah. Now, I'm just throwing that out there. Like, this could happen. And if it does happen, I'm going to be ready to make a bunch of money. It's going to be my plan. I'm going to have all sorts of stuff ready to make a ton of money. And we'll see how it develops. So, anyway, I just... be careful. And we're only roaring 20s. We're only in the first, half. And we're talking about that popping out. I mean, this could happen by June even. So we're just the first half. We could roar higher and roar lower, and I think this could lead to a Great Depression or a Greater Depression if we do this kind of ridiculousness now. So I don't want to. The market can always do stuff we don't expect. I mean, it's never really done something like that on that scale, but hey, always a time for the first time, right? So yeah, I was hoping for one of these where it's very consistent with nice pullbacks and tradable, but this has been just wicked. So throwing that out there as a potential possibility. Running over to... Now, you want to stick around to the end because I'm going to give you my bias for the day, what I kind of expect to shake out. So make sure you kind of hang out with me. Don't cut out too fast before you get there. S5FI, still below 80. It's looking like if we go higher, we may pop out again. We'll see what happens. This one, look at that. Ripped right back up. This thing does tend to chop lots. We get lots of chop. It may break back out before it rolls it down again. So ES overnight was kind of down, popping a little bit on the... We're going to have to jump down some time frames here. Look at what's happening, what's crapping. There we go. Taking it back. BTBT up so far 5%. That's pretty cool. Got a bunch of that. Market's open. And S&P flat. S&P flat. So right now, look, we got lower highs. And as I was talking about yesterday, that 618 being resistance, kind of still holding in that zone. The 786 is actually what we're holding. It's not the measured bounce I was hoping to set up. So there's what we've got right now. We roll down from here. Let's watch out. But this kind of tips the odds. We're going to come up here 49.13. Maybe. We'll talk about that more for my bias of the day later. ES was inconclusive. NQ on the 30-minute. Look. Is that a roadmap line bounce to the downside? Could be. Looks like a 15-minute there. Have to watch that. We get below 17.5. Looks like we're coming on down. 17.4, maybe 17.3. Simple as that. Why did I jump down to the 15-minute? Because that's where the roadmap line bounce showed up. On the 30-minute, not so clear. Kind of poked through poked through, ran back up. It's not so clear. Got to go to a different time frame. The hourly, we haven't hit it yet. But look, the hourly lines up with the 1272 of the current 15-minute potential downside right there. Don't usually go through all this analysis, but right there, all right? We may be headed down to test the 1 hour roadmap line. And if we get below it, next up, 4 hour, way down here. So we could push down, work on a bigger retrace. And then, of course, the daily, way down here. Back in the 15.7 area. You have to lose like 2,000 points off the NASDAQ to get down there. Maybe like, we're never doing a retrace that big again. Haha! I will challenge you to that. I guarantee you, some point in the future, we are going to do another big retrace. It just, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week. Sometime we will get there. Russell, and remember, FOMC meeting next Wednesday at 2 p.m. What are they going to say? Maybe we oversold the rates a little bit. Maybe, with the way everything is, maybe we need to keep them higher. Everything's kind of roaring back a little bit. GDP's climbing. Think about it. GDP climbing. Maybe that's in the narrative to ease up on the rate cut talk. So these guys are dumb as foxes now. You got to remember, playing the game. So that retrace holding so far, still holding. As long as we hold that, probably going for the deeper retrace here on Russell. And this is IWM. This is the futures for IWM. If you didn't know, there you go. 3-point tool. 1, 2, 3. Puts the target right down here. Oil was looking mighty fine yesterday. Came up to the roadmap line. Came back up to the roadmap line. It touched it. Rejecting down. This right now, I would expect a retrace. And it's only 3 waves up though. I need this to do a small retrace and go for the extension up here and get above the roadmap line is what I need. That's what I need to see on oil. And then we want another retrace. That'll be the entry. Like after this completes, we get the bigger retrace that holds above higher low. So if you want to be early, you can look for something now. If you want to wait till it kind of proves it more conservative, wait. Simple as that. And yeah, that's what I got to say about that. GC consolidating here. This looks like a potential 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like a wave 4 consolidation, and we may get wave 5 down into the roadmap line. Lower low. Really, all we need to finish this up is a lower low than that right there. And look what it's sitting just right on top of. Sitting right on top of the roadmap line. So one little spike down, one little flush, can wrap that up, and we can go bullish from here. Bitcoin, we already kind of talked about. It's testing that channel. We're gonna, if we bounce off of it, get below this low, right there. Going on down in a blaze of glory. Ethereum, not quite not even. This one's more bearish. I don't have any. If we get back above that, we can go higher. But at this point, as long as we are below that uptrend of the lows, bias is down on Ethereum. Dollar, still banging on that roadmap line. Once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days now. Consolidating right here. If we break to the downside, coming right back down to test the lows and probably coming down in the 99 area. Tesla, as I said, I missed it by 6 cents. So sorry. And looks like we're probably going to get a bounce at least. I don't know about a gap fill for now. This is going to be a significant resistance until we fill it. And we may pop up to the top of it and consolidate. We do still have the downtrend and the downtrend to contend with. And that roadmap line in there too. So at this point, roadmap line is still way back up there around 230. All right. Or TSLL and UCO shares susceptible to decay. Absolutely. They decay every single day. Let's pull it up and talk about it a second. Look right here. TSLL. The expense ratio is 1.08%. So the way that ETFs, if you don't believe me, go look on Investopedia about ETFs. But so you take 0.0, whoops, too many O's, 0.0108 divided by 365 days equals, they're going to take about 0.0000295%. That's percent. All right, you're going to multiply the price here. 9 times 0.0029%, or well, that's the multiplication. Multiply it by 0.000295. Whatever that number comes out to be, that's how many cents they take off of this every day at rebalancing. This gets rebalanced. Well, I don't know that this one gets rebalanced every day, but most ETFs get rebalanced every day at the end of the day or after the close, and the accounting happens. They take the daily fee out, and the weekend happens too. So you get extra fees on the weekends, and then maybe they divide by 220, roughly 220 trading days. So if it's 0.0108 divided by, say, 220 trading days, roughly, it'd be like 0.0049 per trading day. That would come out of this when they rebalanced. Now, UCO, that one's 1.43, so that one's going to have even more. Plus, it's a higher price, so that percent fee is even bigger. So this always decaying every day. Now, it's not nearly the decay of some other stuff like some of my favorites that decay rapidly. Now, this has an expense ratio of 0.95, but they have a what do they call it? Management. No, it's not the. This is just the sponsor expense. Like, that's the cost of the sponsor. They have contango expenses that don't show up in this number that suck the value out even faster. Alrighty. That's all I gotta say about that. Every ETF loses money every single day. If you didn't know that. Some cover the fee better than others. Like SPY, that's why SPY tends to be You know, it's not exactly divide by 10 on the S&P 500 and why it seems to drift over time. Right? We can there's your rebalancing. There's that cost. Look, every day you're paying to hold SPY. I bet you didn't know that, did you? Raise your hand if you knew this. Let me know. There you go. There's the cost coming out of SPY every day. And then they rebalance. I just made this chart. I bet you didn't know this. Anyway, there you go. Those are probably the, let's see, June, September. Yeah, those are the dividend payments. So that's when they rebalance it, is on the dividend payment. There you go. Anyway, all this stuff can be figured out. It's just a matter of how do you do it. So, AppF, beautiful. Roadmap line balance. Look at that. 225 on the upside. MSTR. MSTR. So holding, why doesn't JT trade ETFs very often? Like why do, when you look at what I trade, I don't usually trade many ETFs, right? They have costs. Like costs on top of like, usually I'm trading options too. So you got costs of theta decay added on to the cost of the ETF eating itself. The management fees and the, I mean, I don't know. There's other things to do. Other ways to play, as I say. This could be the bounce here. Remember, I've kind of said that's the level I want to see. That's probably going to correspond with Bitcoin breaking up into the channel. We do that. I mean, if you're an aggressive player, you can buy now. Buy something. How much time are you going to need? Remember, 84 days till the halving. This thing could chop around sideways for the next 84 days. This thing being Bitcoin and all the miners and all the other things. So 84 days roughly. Got about 12,500 blocks left to go. There we go. Block every 10 minutes-ish. You wonder how this works? When we talk about mining, it's calculating these blocks, authenticating blocks of transactions on Bitcoin. That's what mining is. So there you go, right? Maybe you learned something today, right? Valuable information right here on YouTube. Give me a like if anything I said was beneficial or new information or something awesome like that. I do appreciate it right there. Share with a friend. Here to try to get y'all an edge in the market. All right. I've learned a lot of stuff over 20 years. I probably don't even remember all the lessons I've learned. So make sure you give me a like if I said anything you like there. All right. Region. Looks like right up to the target. That could retrace off of that level. We could break higher, but I would expect a retrace. BAH. Booz Allen. Man, look at that pop. Booz Allen Hamilton. Pop. Sweet. Why would I use this one? Because that one hit the roadmap line. It's up past the target. Could we go higher? Yeah, possible. You run it off of this one too. And we're getting to ridiculous levels, so be careful. That one it doesn't tend to go very far before it retraces after it's done a consolidation, extension, consolidation, minor extension, consolidation, extension. Probably going to do a consolidation again. Race still looks kind of bearish for now. We want to see it hold here. If we get below that, coming on deeper. DHR. I don't remember why I had that on there, but looks like we hit that target. Haven't talked about this one in a while, apparently. Oh, man, look at that. Perfect, dude. Perfect hit right there. Now, could this be the bottom? I don't know. It's got significant resistance going higher than here right now. Right here, right now. We got to break higher than that and retrace it, back test it before I would be interested in this. And do the price, I probably wouldn't trade it. CRBP, there's a law of big numbers, right? When things get really big, it becomes hard for a lot of traders to trade them. So stuff in the low hundreds, stuff in the under 100 and in the low hundreds, like 100 up to 200, that's easier for traders to get positions built. Once you start coming up here to 200, 300, 400, buying 100 share chunks gets more difficult for traders. Think about it. How many, most of us have smaller accounts. And so buying 100 shares of something that's, that's why companies do a lot of stock splits too, is to keep the share price down where people can buy like 100 shares. Because psychologically, we like to buy 100 shares. And then options, if you want to sell covered calls and stuff. So that tends to be why companies will get their share price back down in the low hundreds instead of up in the high hundreds and thousands. So that one's popping up there. Nice pop. Biotech pharma, though. Be careful. Gosh, man. That can retrace in a heartbeat. Coin still hasn't come down where I wanted it to. I want that one to get down. It hit the 120 target, or the 120 area that I said that was my pay attention level. Kind of spiked down there and got it. I kind of want to see this touch right down in this box. It might not, but I guess we start breaking. If it doesn't do that, I'm probably not interested in trading it, honestly. I mean, I might, but I don't know. I'll have to think about it. That's not very clean on a corrective at the moment. Showing me that it made some kind of bottom. Freedom holding, just chopping sideways. Looks gnarly. Look at that range it set, and then it was doing that area. Look, see where it's consolidating before it went on a heartbeat. Look where it did this heartbeat asymptote thing in there, and then right back in the box. It's not very interesting. Didn't come down here. Didn't do all the things I usually want to see things do. That should be up here now. Yeah, nothing got me excited there. Whew! That's a dumpster fire. Dumpster fire. We started down. Now we're accelerating down. We're in this support box, but if we get below that, that's going to be no bueno, as somebody says all the time. May go retest that bottom from COVID times. Estee Lauder came up shy of the roadmap line, retracing. Is this a bullish bounce or a bearish bounce? That's a good question. Looks like it may pop up and hit the roadmap line. If you were kind of gambling on that, you could gamble on it hitting the roadmap line. Excuse me. La 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 la. Could so if it did, here's what's JT doing right here. If it did this move and copied it, echoed it from right there, could move up to 180, pop up through the roadmap line. This would probably be, but it's a higher. Yeah, look at that. Might be a 3-day roadmap line hit. See that right there? And kind of back test that low. Look at that. All these things coming together at the same spot. Oh, that one may rally up to 180. I'd watch out for the resistance, though. and bounced off of that before and went way down. Yeah. Kazakhstan. You know where, what's his name? Can't remember. Comedian Sacha Baron Cohen does that character. Well, American Express popping, but just sideways. Ugh. Potentially breaking out, but I don't like that one. Not on JT's favorite pattern list right there. Oh, wrong tool. 2-point tool. 1, 2. 220, the upside resistance right here. Borat. Kazakhstan. Borat. That's it. Anyway. Connell. Yeah. Pre-market this was popping, but now with coin retracing a bit, looks like not popping as much. And coming back to the roadmap line. That's a 2x long in coin if you want to play that way. LABU still hanging out at that up downtrend of the upper downtrend line here. Could break through. We could see it rally. I mean, biotech's been hit pretty hard. Could rally, even though it's complete garbage right now. I don't trade biotech, and I'm not trading LabU. So, Brown Foreman, look at that. Started rolling over back here, and has not found a bottom yet. Even though the market's been up, this one starting to accelerate to the downside. Another classic dumpster fire setup here. Now, have to go higher? No. Look, even though CRBO. Cracker Barrel here. Even though it has a beautiful setup to go lower, it's just hanging in there. Now, what does that look like? Looks like the makings of a Head and Shoulders kind of cooking in here. And wouldn't surprise me one bit to see this drop the frick out, but they could turn it around. Could. If we get below that trend line, watch out, baby. Let's set alert. I actually have one put on this sucker. One put. One ping only, sir. Pins. Yeah, Kimberly. I think you still have pins. Might want to consider, may want to put an order on for 43. Maybe 42.50. ALV. I don't remember if it's profitable at 42.50, but we may want to close that one out after holding it for so long. ALV, long-term resistance right in there. We can get above that. Potentially going on. I mean, look at that. When I say long-term resistance, does not like it above the 100 level. Hadn't really been above there since. We've never been above the 100 level. This is, I mean, a couple days, but it has not been able to sustain above that level right there. That could be, it could be setting up to break out though. Off of this low, look at this. Could be setting up. Not quite a perfect. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Put it in log mode. I think it was log mode. No, took it out of log mode. Took it out of log mode. Reduces the targets. Conservative target. More aggressive target. If this is going bullish, very aggressive target. Interesting. Yeah, usually stuff that moves over $50, I would put it in log mode. So maybe, and that log mode 170, and super aggressive. We could see that, and then that. Of course, there'll be pullbacks in here. It's not like that's just going to make one big rip and it's going to be there in a couple years. KLIC, good gosh, man. You know what I say about exponential stuff? Oh. Right at the 1618. Plenty of times we've seen that reject right back down. SOXX. You know, this could go on a big extension. 663, 828. Oops. There you go. Those of you that want to know where NVIDIA might stop, 712. V. I have a target right there. I've had that target for a while. 277. INTC. And this one could break out and go. Now, this one's a laggard compared to AMD and NVIDIA. And people are like, oh, Intel's days are gone. I wouldn't count out Intel. Now, finding resistance at the 618 here. And, you know, it was support on the way down. This, for Chris and other people that have been through some of my in-person stuff, when I've talked about the fact that 618s tend to line up in a logical place when this bottom is fixed on a retrace. That looks pretty logical right there. Like this bottom, like those bottoms weren't formed. I mean, think about it. We retraced here, found some bottom, popped up, found some bottom again, and then we went on down and made this low. Like this 618 didn't exist before this low. Now we've popped back up and we're consolidating back in that zone. It just happens to be the 618 again. If we can get above that, could be heading up to 90, possibly 128. That'd be pretty sweet to see Intel turn it around here. They could come out and surprise everybody with some kind of crazy AI chip that just blows everybody else's away. I mean, a lot of smart people have been building silicone at Intel for a long time. So going more of a clean sheet on this one, even though this looks like 5 up and we need a retrace. What might it be doing? Might be heading up to 220. Reach for the sky right there. And then 320 above that. I got my piece and moved on. Maybe I should have held that, but yeah, maybe shoulda, coulda, woulda. Play that game, and you're in a world of hurt. So, it's not about what you shoulda, coulda, woulda done. Just pay attention to what your account says and look for the next one. All right, next opportunity. Looking for another one of these. Another setup. T-Mobile popping out. Sitting at the 1272. Could reach up to 1618 and 172. 10 o'clock USD. Ultra semiconductors. High to low. Now you're like, JT, that's not a roadmap. Like, it didn't bounce to the roadmap line. Well, let's look at the 3-day. No. Let's look at the weekly. Nope. Let's look at the monthly. Oh, there we go. This is a big picture. Big picture roadmap bounce. So that's a monthly chart roadmap line bounce. It works on all time frames. PDD. Jump back to the daily. Probably just consolidating more on the sideways till we get over here. AMAT. Watch for that to find resistance and turn down. SMH. Golly. That one I'm going to have to clean sheet that one too. Clean sheet. Resistance there, 235 will be the next one up. All right. So, bias for the day. For those of you stuck around, let's jump into it, shall we? Remember, if anything I said was helpful, you learned anything on the SPY information, anything like that, give me a thumbs up. That ETF, little diversion I did in ETFs and the cost. Give me a thumbs up and give me a like. Like, I like that information. That was cool. I appreciate it. So right here, unless, here's the line in the sand right now. Line in the sand. Right on those highs. All right. If we break above that at this point, you can watch the 30-minute at this point. You can probably watch the 15-minute at this point. We start breaking above those highs. You see when we rejected it. If we break above that, we're going up here at least 49.13, if not 49.26. As long as we're below that, this low right here from yesterday is the support. See how we had rejected going lower? So now this is created a complex gobbledygook. And we almost filled that gap too. Slightly biased down because we have a lower high. This current high is lower than that high. So it gives us a downward bias at this point. Looking for this to come on down. Does it have to? No. Could it just decide to break out and go? Yeah, could. That's right in that zone would be where I would kind of expect at this point. But so there you go. That's I don't really have a bias except sideways. And I think we may just continue this stupid grind where we don't really go up or down until next Wednesday. So there you go. USD is an ETF, I do believe. Yeah, it's Ultra Pro. That's an Ultra Semiconductors ETF. And here's the information. Has an expense ratio of 0.95. Exposure to North America. There you go. Stocks and bonds. Cash and equivalents. Low volume, 5,700. Yeah, only 2,800 or 28,000 a day. Assets under management, 479 million. There you go. Have a great day, everybody. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the bell with the notifications so you know when I go live again. I'll be back on Monday for another Morning Monster where we do it all again. Same bad time, same bad channel. Remember, it's not being wrong that costs you all that money. It's staying wrong. Don't stay wrong. Like when something's proving you wrong, just close it out. Take your lumps, move on, find the next best one, and we'll see you again